In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can take a photograph and turn it into a miniature scene using Photoshop. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a lot of fun. We are going to take a photograph and we are going to transform it into one of those miniature scenes that you may have seen before, where everything looks fake, like little fake trees and little fake people. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to do it using Photoshop. Now, before Photoshop, these sorts of images needed to be taken with a thing called a tilt-shift lens. If you've never seen one of those before, it's a funky looking lens where the front of the lens moves independently of from the back of the lens, and typically they're used for architecture, but you could also use them very creatively to create images such as this one. However, those lenses are incredibly expensive, and we don't have $2,000-3,000 to spend on one of those. So we are going to do this inside of Photoshop. And the cool thing is that it's a very simple effect to apply. You just need to know a few settings and a few things that you need to change. But I'm going to show you everything so you don't have to worry about it. Anyway, let's jump onto the computer and I'll show you how this works. All right, here we go. Now, this effect, like I said, is super easy to apply. It takes almost no time, but you won't believe the end result. It's really dramatic and it looks really, really cool. And I think you can have a lot of fun with this. So one thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to pick the right photograph in order for this to work. What I mean by that is that you need to pick a photograph where you're looking down onto a scene, okay, so similar to what I've got here. And then the next thing is that you need to have things in the foreground, in the middle, and then in the background. So in this case, I've got this wall here in the foreground, then I've got the middle, I've got these boats, and I've got these houses in the background. And you need to have objects in there because we're going to blur them. And if this wall here, for example, wasn't here, then if this was just water, then if you blur water, then the effect wouldn't be as strong and it wouldn't look as good. So you want to make sure that you've got objects in the, like I said, in front and behind the bits that we're going to focus on. But, you know, just experiment on whatever photographs you have. And all of this is just about having a bit of fun with this. So let's get started. First thing, we want to make sure, I've got my photograph here on this one layer, but we want to make sure that we're working on a smart object because we want to go in and fine tune the effect afterwards. And unless it's a smart object, you're not going to be able to do this. So let's right mouse click on this layer, do a convert to smart object. Okay. So anything we apply to this now, we can go back and we can change anything that we apply to this layer. So now we're going to go up to the top, the menu that says filter. I'm going to click on that and we're going to go down to blur gallery. Okay, so there's two sub menus. There's one called blur and blur gallery. We're going to do the second one, blur gallery. In there, we're going to select tilt shift. And this is going to simulate that tilt shift lens thing that I was talking about before. Now, as you can see, it's applied the effect over the top. It's a fairly mild effect, but we're going to fine tune this and I'll show you exactly how to do this. Now, let me show you where the controls are for the tilt shift. Just move this a little bit so you can see it a little bit more clearly. So what we have is we have this circle here with this dot in the middle, and then we have these lines. First of all, we've got this top line here, and then a dotted line up at the top up here. Same thing with the bottom, we've got a line and then a dotted line down the bottom. So how this works is this. The area between these two solid lines, that's going to be in focus. Everything between the straight line, the solid line, and dotted line, that's going to be a graduated effect of blurriness, and you can see that over here already. You've got these people here that are sharp, and then as you can see as we move backward or move upwards, that the blur becomes more intense. And it's the same thing down the bottom here. You can see that these people, they're sharp, but then like his head is sharp, but then you see his feet are starting to get blurry, and then everything the blurriness just increases from then to here. So we can move these lines so that this changes the intensity at which that blurriness is applied. So again, the blurriness starts at the solid line and then starts to increase to the dotted line. So we can move that around that way and affect the blur effect using those two lines. The second thing we have is this circle in the middle. First of all, the middle, the dot inside the circle, you can just move that around. So that's how you can place the effect exactly where you want it. The second thing that you have is you've got this highlighted area in the circle around it. So you see this white area, there's a white and a dark area. This is the amount of blur that you are applying. So if I do this, click and drag, then you can see that the blur has sort of backed off a bit. And then if I increase that, you can see that the blur has increased. So let's put that back where it was. I think it was, so that's fine. Okay, so now what we need to do is work out which area or which part of the photograph we want in focus. So I think these boats here and possibly these people here, that's the bit that you want to have as sharp as possible. People look amazing with this type of effect. So we're going to concentrate on these boats over here, these ones here, and then the people in here. Now, the other thing that you have is on the dotted lines here, okay, on the top one and on the bottom one, if you hover over the top of it, you'll notice that the little pointer will change. So if you, that up and down arrow means that if I click on the line and I go up and down, I'm moving just the top lines, okay? But if I hover over the dot, you see this little sort of curvy lines. And what that means is that I can then rotate the angle of the effect. All right, so let's have a look at that first, in fact, because what we have is we've got this wall here that it's at an angle. The photo's shot straight, but the wall is at an angle. So we're going to, I think what will really work is if we follow the same path as the wall. So it's roughly there. We don't have to be super exact. And then what we're going to do is we're going to drag this down, because I think that this is the part that we want to be in focus, but we'll play around with it a little bit. And then I really want to exaggerate the blur. So I'm going to bring the bottom line up, okay? Because I want it to be really, really blurry. I'm going to do the same thing down the bottom. I want it to drop off really, really fast. Now, this is still a little bit too sharp for me, so I'm going to bring that top line down, okay? Because I want it to really have a very, very small section where everything is in focus, okay? And then I'm going to bring this bottom line, bring it up so that you get a little bit of blur, people, but not too much. Okay, and then the second thing, or the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the blurriness. I'm going to take it, I'm going to go quite extreme. I'm going to probably go to like 19. There we go. Okay, so that's looking really nice now. That's I think that's probably exactly what I was after. So I'm going to click OK now. Okay, and that looks fantastic. Okay, so that looks like a proper miniature, sort of almost like a little train set thing. And let's have a look at where we were. So I'm going to disable the blur gallery here on this one layer. So that's where we started. Okay, I'll turn it back on, and that's where we've ended up, which I think looks really, really nice. And I think you're going to have a lot of fun playing around with this. Now, I did say before that you needed to, I recommended that you used a smart object or a smart layer object. And the reason for that is that if I wanted to go and change this effect, let's say that I wanted to bring, have these even more blurry, I can just, on the blur gallery, which says blur gallery on the layer, I can just double click on that and it brings back the effect. So I can go in and tweak it again. And again, this wouldn't work unless you had it was a smart object. So let's really move this around a little bit. Okay. And right down, actually. Let's do that, actually. Let's click OK. And as you can see, now it looks amazing. It's probably too much blur. Yeah, so let's go back and double click again. Just crank this back just a little bit. Bring this line up just a tiny little bit, I think. Click OK. And that is exactly how I would apply this effect. I think it looks amazing. Again, have a look at where we started. We started with that sort of image, okay? And then when you put the effect on, it gives it this incredible sort of 3D effect, which I think, like I said, you're going to have a lot of fun playing around with this. So I encourage you to experiment. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, because I really want you to play around with this, because this is just fun, right? So yeah, I'd love to see what you come up with in your own photographs. So there it is. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did like the video, please don't forget to give the video a like, because it does make a difference to me and to the channel. And also, if you enjoy this type of content, which is a little bit shorter but straight to the point, please let me know in the comment section, because I take all your feedback to try and come up with different videos for the future. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to consider doing so. I make videos like this all the time to help you with your photography. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those, click the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Anyway, that's everything from me. I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.